Being consistently successful on the water is all about the little things, and mastering the fine details can translate into big outcomes. We join Z-Man pros on the water to gain insight into the nuances and adjustments that can help anglers of all skill levels turn an average day on the water into an epic one.
Wow, what a meat dog right there.
This is Project Z, breaking down the bite. Faced with early fall conditions on the clear waters of North Georgia, Z-Man Pro David Walker searches for any signs that will quickly point him to a quality fish catch during the tricky transitional period of summer to fall. With the afternoon sun directly overhead and knowing that docks create shade and cover for large spotted bass, David focuses on a stretch of docks that he hopes will clue him into how the fish are relating to these structures. He ties on a 1/8 ounce Z-Man ShroomZ Micro Finesse Jig with a highly buoyant ElaZtech Finesse TRD trailer. The combination of this smaller profile jig and TRD trailer results in perfect crawfish imitating underwater action both on the fall and at rest on the bottom. The jig's compact design also makes it a great skip bait, easily allowing David to make precise casts into the shadiest areas under the docks. The proper rod, reel, and line setup is critical for skipping small lures. David prefers a 7-foot medium light power fast action spinning rod. His rod is paired with a 6-to-1 spinning reel and spooled with 10-pound braid with a 7-foot 7-pound fluorocarbon leader. Hoping to key in on how the fish are positioned around the docks, David works every inch of the structure until he gets a bite. He pays close attention to his line, as many bites come on the fall, indicating that the fish are suspended under the docks rather than near the bottom. After probing the outside corners and inside walkways with no luck, David makes a long skip cast in between the dock floats and lets the jig fall 12 to 14 feet to the bottom. The science behind skipping is fairly complicated, but David makes this technique look effortless. The key to a good skip cast is to generate as much lure speed at the point of line release, with the rod almost parallel to the water so the lure travels across the surface with minimal drag. The more the lure spins and stays on its trailing edge, the longer the skip. As the bait encounters the bottom, he engages the reel, works the bait, and feels a bite. The super sharp and sticky light wire hook of the finesse jig does not require a hard hook set, so David slowly reels and pulls to button up the fish and move it toward the boat. With the fish in the boat, David focuses his efforts under the docks as the fish seem to be hugging the bottom in the deeper pockets of shade. This allows him to be more efficient with each dock and eliminate casts to unproductive areas. David spots a large covered dock with more shade, good water depth, and a rocky bottom. Sensing that the dock is a high percentage spot, David approaches quietly and positions the bow of his boat 35 feet in front of the covered open slip at a 90-degree angle and makes a perfect skip cast into the heart of the dock. He allows the bait to sink to the bottom on slack line and makes a couple short twitches of the rod to hop the jig off the bottom. This movement triggers a bite, and he quickly reels in the slack line and pulls into the fish. With each shake of the fish's head, the finesse jig's light wire hook buries deeper into its mouth. The fish instinctually moves further under the dock in an attempt to throw the hook. With only a 7-pound fluorocarbon leader, David cannot pull the fish away from the many hazards under the dock without risking cutting his line. But having braided line here helps, as it will stand up to rope and cables that would normally shred mono or fluorocarbon. Keeping pressure on the fish, David quickly moves his boat to the area where the fish is hung up, reaches down into the tangle, and pulls out a solid 4-pounder. By quickly eliminating dead water, understanding how the sun can affect fish positions around docks, and having the ability to make extremely accurate skip casts, David Walker successfully broke down the dock bite during the tricky transition period of summer to fall.